Hi, this is Chico Resch. You are listening to the Let's Go Devils podcast on the Primetime Radio Network.
Happy Devils Sunday. This is Devils After Dark, coming to you live from the Primetime Radio studios inside the bunker in an undisclosed location in beautiful New Jersey.
I don't know about that. I believe it's known as Mrs. Wu's Displeasure Palace.
And Scotty's historic landmark, beautiful Beverly Hills apartment in beautiful Hollywood, California. I don't know. Streaming live.
Beverly Hills, not Hollywood. Close.
Same difference anyway. Streaming live on Facebook Live, YouTube Live, X Live, and Twitch on the Let's Go Devils Network as the Devils lose to the Oilers, the Red Hot Oilers, 4-1 today. Lots to go over, Scotty. I'm going to give you some expert analysis after your monologue because I have some thoughts on this game.
All right. Go get a nice throat lozenger there and maybe a cup of tea for Big Daddy Woo over here. Got a little hoarse after the football call yesterday, and it might have been the helmet squeezing everything together there. You know, I think that's
what happens. That's what happens when you have back-to-back games like that. Like I can't recover. I can't recover. You know.
Yeah, and it's a big factor in this loss today. Game number 26 on the road. Tough one for the Devils. But still, I think you got to say a successful road trip as they go 3-1. Didn't get the 4-game sweep, facing an Oilers team who came in winners of 6 straight. Devils, of course, winners of 6 of 7. The biggest thing today is, Akira Schmid in net again. Can he follow up that stellar performance that he had in Seattle? Will the Devils start slow, which we've seen a couple times on this trip? And we know Edmonton is a team that strikes early and often. Can they follow up the good defense they've been playing as well and stay out of the penalty box? That was a huge factor in the game against Calgary. The Devils did not take one single penalty. And then the other news. The, oh boy, what else can happen news? Eric Halla out of the lineup again with an upper body injury, the UBI. And Chris Tierney inserted in, not Brendan Smith. So let's get to this game here. The second of one of the Devils, I think it's, 15 or 16 back-to-backs that we have this year? Thanks, schedule makers, for that one. Really appreciate the 16 back-to-back games. Either way, first period starts off, and we had some good calls by the officials, and we had one major miss. And this first one was a good call. Akira Schmid made the decision to try to play the puck behind the net. And maybe it wasn't his best idea at that point, as, you know what, the Oilers are a fast team, much like the Devils. And they were coming. They wanted, after the start of their season, they are hungry for some W's. And they were looking for it. And the gambler, Lindy Ruff, comes through. You got to know when to hold them, know when to fold them, know when to challenge that call, and get it right. There he is, having an And Crew brew, which, of course, you can have your own at American Whiskey, or you can buy some from Departed Souls. And don't forget to vote for our girl Peyton in the Bar Boss. I know the legend Samu has been pinning up that link. Let's try and get Peyton up into the top 5 for the Bar Boss. But on this play, it was a easy tap in, looking like it. But the reason why was because Evander Kane got in between Akira Schmid and the goalpost. And you kind of saw the replay. He kind of gave him a little forearm shove. I like the play there by Evander Kane. I see what he's doing, but his feet were in the crease, which makes that Akira Schmid's territory. and you can't be marching all over Akira Schmid's territory like that. The refs actually got this one correct. The gambler comes through. He didn't fold him. He knew when to hold him on this one. Goal is wiped off the board due to Evander Kane interfering with Akira Schmid. And the Devils had a bunch of opportunities here, but this young goaltender for Edmonton was looking good, and so did the Oilers defense. You got to give them credit. They didn't let a number of shots get through that the Devils were taking, and the ones that they did get through, Picard was right on it. Devils had a 3-on-2, Bratt in with the puck. Nico gets his stick tied up just at the last moment and couldn't get a shot on goal, which was a theme for the Devils today. They missed the net on a bunch of opportunities. And again, end of a 4-game road trip, lots of travel, second game of a back-to-back out there in the different time zones here on the West Coast. I get it. I didn't think they were super sluggish, but they were just off a little bit. You know, those shots weren't right there on the net as we usually see, but they still had their speed and they still had their jump. You know, I don't think they got blown out by any means in this game. Akira Schmid had a big blocker save on Zach Hyman after a feed from Connor McDavid. Nico took a penalty after a long stretch pass, and this was a good penalty to take. His stick got on the hands. Who was it? Of Evander Kane. Draisaitl fed a streaking Kane. Schmid keeping those gaps closed, like we've talked about. He's not letting those holes open up. Legs are down, flat on the ice. Nothing sliding under there. He did a really good job. But yeah, Schmid did a big save there, and then he had another one on Draisaitl right from the faceoff dot as well. After that, Siegenthaler had a nice block of a McDavid shot, and then poof, got to clear the puck right out. Devils killed that penalty off. Jack then drew a tripping call right after that, and the Devils power play, is going through a little bit of a tough stretch here. I believe they're 0 for their last 9 or 0 for their last 10. Look at the final stats here from the end of the game. I think they're 0 for their last 9, which we know that's a big part of the Devils game. We've been talking about their 5-on-5 play, been increasing, in value and quality, but the power plays kind of dipped a little bit here. And you were hoping it was going to come through, but it did not. Bratt had one of his patented big one-timers from the faceoff dot. That one, I don't even know if that one got through, if it was safe. I think that one was, I have that as stopped, but it might have missed the net. But I think Picard got that one. Friggin' Picard. All I kept thinking was Star Trek, Patrick Stewart. Professor X. Edmonton got a delay of game penalty. Hyman put the puck over the glass, but Devils power play was really uneventful there. After that, McDavid sets up Draisaitl in close and a huge blocker save by Akira Schmid, who played well tonight. He did have those one goof behind the net at the beginning and another one we're going to talk about a little later. But he was playing his angles pretty well. I thought he was doing a good job. Then Edmonton started keeping the puck trapped in the zone there a little bit, and they got their first goal of the game at 18:36 of the first period. This was Derek Ryan, and you're not expecting that fourth line of Edmonton to be the ones that you're getting scored upon, or are scoring upon you. So it was a little shocking at first to see this, but yeah, a little flutterer kind of gets through towards Akira Schmid and somehow sneaks in between his body and the goalpost right there. It was a nice pass from behind the goal out front, and Ryan found himself in the center slot. Although he was covered, there was two Devils right there as well. So it was a good play by the Oilers. They go up 1-0 right there at the end of the first period, and then going into the second, Devils take a penalty. Siegs interference call. We had an Edmonton shot that deflected off the post. Another one of those lasers. I'm sorry. It was Lazar deflected off of. I'm sorry. I misread over here. Edmonton shot deflects off of Lazar and then off the post. So Devils got a little bit of the Iron Man boom boom, boom. Got some of that good luck over there. And then the other laser, not the Lazar, the laser came from Nico Hischier. Short-handed opportunity. He got in there and he put, just like the Calgary goal that he scored in I think it was the first or was it the second period? Nico's goal, his first goal of the Calgary game, was just like a freaking laser beam to the top of the net. And he tried it again against Picard, and it missed. It just went a little over the top. And that seemed to be the Devils' MO, all day today, which, again, long road trip, last game, second of a back-to-back. I can see it happening. So the Oilers right after that, after Nico's, and oh man, Devils fans, we got to have more Nico in that game. The Oilers hit the post right after that. McDavid, it was a McDavid shot. Akira Schmid got a piece of it, but it was a good play by our boy Nico Hischier. Oh man, I'm telling you fellas, you're going to want that Nico in the game. I'll stop at my Christopher Walken. Okay, Nico forced McDavid to go wide, and then he had a sharp angle shot, which, he's freaking Connor McDavid. It's a good thing Akira Schmid got a little piece of it to redirect it out, and twink, off the post. Another Iron Man going on right there. And then the second thing that the refs got right, another goal by the Oilers waved off. This was initial shot from the rush. It rang off the post, and Akira Schmid, in looking for it, he kind of got turned around in the goal crease, and then he ends up down on the ground. There's a scramble in front, and it might have been Hyman, I think, that was kind of pushing, with his stick, not the puck, but Akira Schmid's leg, and the ref was right on top of it. He was blowing the whistle, waving it off from the get-go. No. So no review on this because this was a ref's call, judgment call over here. Goal waved off, still 1-0 Oilers. Jesper Bratt right after that. Oh man, he had a great play where he was trying to exit the defensive zone and he lost the puck for a split second. And I think Evander Kane got it. And then he immediately just kind of one-handed poked that puck and then, picked it right back for himself and then continued up the ice. It was a really smooth play by Jesper Bratt. But Lazar then got a tripping penalty. The Devils back on the PK. They're playing with fire here. Too many penalties already in this game going on against a team like the Edmonton Oilers who, just like the Devils, they are nasty with their speed, their transition, the outlet passes, and, of course, their special teams. The Oilers win an ozone faceoff. The puck eventually gets to Bouchard at the point, and he lets the big blast go for the goal. His 8th of the year coming from Draisaitl and Ryan Nugent-Hopkins. When you think about Edmonton, you're thinking about, Draisaitl, you're thinking about Kane, you're thinking about McDavid. You almost forget sometimes that they have Ryan Nugent-Hopkins up there as well. That's his 19th assist of the season, a PPG power play goal for the Edmonton Oilers. So not only are the Devils on a bit of a slump on their power play, the PK also gives up one here as the Oilers go up 2-0 at 14:20 of the second period. And then Akira Schmid made a massive save on Zach Hyman on a breakaway. And this is, save of the year type candidate over here. Hyman's coming in and he goes to his backhand and he's trying to lift the puck. And, the goalie stick, that little skinny part of the goal stick here, and they start putting a little tape before the knob. Akira Schmid got it with the start of the tape on his stick. I mean, I thought originally it was off the blocker. No. Literally the thinnest part of the stick, Akira Schmid got the puck with. It was an absolute beauty of a save. coming from Zach Hyman, who we know is a dangerous player, coming in with speed on a break. Wow. If you missed it, trust me, it's going to be on the highlight reels tonight. It is a save of the year candidate. Nicely done, Akira Schmidt on that. And then right after that, we had one of the worst no calls of the season, Mikey McLeod, who had himself a strong game. Even though, he didn't get on the scoreboard, I mean, he played really hard throughout this game. He was hustling. He created some late opportunities in the third, offensively driving through the defense and making his way towards the net. But Connor McDavid clearly cross-checked him in the back while he was away from the boards, and he went face first into the bottom. And if you watch the replay, the referee is literally like hands on knees watching the entire play happen right in front of him, like literally 5 feet in front of him. And he somehow does not call that a penalty. That's a dangerous play. Do I think McDavid was trying to be dirty? No, I'm not saying that. These things happen, but it's still a penalty. And literally, the ref is right there watching it. His eyes are... No call. No call. So they get 2 right, but they make a horrible blunder on that no call right there. McDavid with the hit from behind on Mikey McLeod. Then Jack Hughes, maybe like 30 seconds later, Jack Hughes gets held up by the defense, and they call that one. But the McDavid hit, they did not. Whatever. The Devils really didn't do anything on that power play. They had 45 seconds that overlapped into the third. And, the second period, even though there was only 1 goal and the Devils didn't really get a lot of shots, I mean, watching these 2 teams play, I think really captures what the NHL was going for, what they were envisioning with all these rule changes. The speed, the finesse, the back and forth. I mean, these 2 teams did not stop. They were skating up and down the ice and watching, a Jack Hughes, a Luke Hughes, a Nico Hischier, a Jesper Bratt, going with Draisaitl, Hyman, McDavid. It was a lot of fun. Even though the Devils lost this, they didn't get too many shots on goal. Actually, they had some opportunities, but they didn't get actual shots on goal. That period just flew by. And for me personally, I just thought that was hella exciting. Watching these 2 teams just back and forth, up and down the ice. I mean, that is what the NHL was going for. We're going into the third period now. Still 2-0 Oilers. Mercer had a partial break. Backhand opportunity. That one got stopped. Kevin Ball made a really nice play to break up a 2-on-1 pass across. And I actually thought he goofed on it because I thought with his long reach, he would have been able to break up that play at the Oiler blue line before they even made it through center ice. But he decided to retreat and play the 2-on-1, and he made the right play because he ended up breaking up that pass across and no shot on goal. The Edmonton fourth line almost scored again. Ryan was right at the side of the net, and he got a pass across, and Akira Schmidt obviously was not able to get across that fast, but it was just in too tight, and he kind of tripped and fell when he was trying to redirect the puck into the net. Devils dodge a bullet right there. But it doesn't last too long because at 4:23 of the third period, Connor McDavid gets his 10th goal of the season, assisted by Evander Kane, and this was another misplay behind the net by one Akira Schmidt. I'm not really sure what he was doing back there because he tried to play the puck. It didn't work so well. And then I don't know if he was trying to pin it against the boards or if he was trying to pin Evander Kane against the boards and block him. But Kira, you need to get back to the net and to the goal, buddy, because easy pass out and McDavid's just whoop right into the net. I don't know if he'll have an easier goal in his career. That isn't a quote unquote, it was an empty net goal, but there was a goalie on the ice for this one. He was behind the net, unfortunately. So Akira Schmid, made a bit of a goof over there. His second one of the day, playing the puck behind. Okay, Akira, we're going to chalk this one up to a learning experience, bud. Because I don't think your play all day today was really that horrible. It was just those two behind the net. Other than that, I thought Akira Schmidt had a pretty good game. He was playing his angles well. He was reading the play, getting side to side. I thought he played pretty strong. But those two, one led to a dangerous scoring chance, and one led to a goal by McDavid there. 4:23 of the third period. Oilers go up 3-0. But these New Jersey Hockey Devils, they never quit. And they always got some fight in them. And they like to respond rather quickly when goals are scored against them. And that's what they did at 4:53. 30 seconds later, Jesper Bratt put the team on the board finally with his 12th goal of the season coming from Nico Hischier. The captain gets his 6th assist, and Palat gets on the scoreboard as well with his 9th assist, an even strength goal. And this was another one of those beautiful cross ice saucer passes. I mean, it was just like, whoop, right on the tape to Jesper Bratt. And he just, right in stride, into the net. I mean, it was a beauty. Another one that I'm sure will be on the highlight reel later tonight. These cross ice saucer passes that the Devils have been pulling off right on the stick tape. I mean, it's just been unreal with these. And again, these guys are all just getting better and better and better, as they keep playing. And they're only going to get even better because they're only 23, 24 years old. So the captain comes back, continuing his point streak. Jesper Bratt continues his point streak. Devils get on the board there, 3-1, as Bratt redirects the shot through Ceci and past Captain Picard there in goal. And then right after that, Jack Hughes gets sprung in alone, and you're like, oh, baby, it's going to be 3-2, but Picard makes a huge save on Jumpin' Jack Flash. The Devils got another power play. Luke was tripped up in the D zone, but yeah, this was it. This was the 9th power play. I have it written down here. Devs 0 for 9 stretch on the PP right now. Something that this team was really relying on at the start of the season. We've seen a lot of improvement in the 5-on-5, but that power play has got to get going as well, especially against a team like the Edmonton Oilers. You have to win that special teams battle, and today they did not. And it is what it is. I'm not going to harp on it too much because, like we said, it's the end of a long road trip. And if you told me at the start the Devils going to go 3-1 on this, I'd say sign me up. Yeah, the sweep would be nice, but 3-1 also is not bad. So the Devils hopefully will have some time off and be able to work on that power play. Mikey McLeod made a nice move to work through the D. We were talking about this earlier, and power through to the net, but again, opportunity stopped by Picard. The gambler, Lindy Ruff, pulls Akira Schmidt with 4:05 remaining. We had a beauty of an opportunity with Jumpin' Jack Flash and Tyler Holy to Foley. They move into the zone, okay? Jack is here closer to the boards. Toffoli's in the middle. Flip-flop, okay? Jack drops to Toffoli, and they kind of crisscross as Toffoli then moves to the center and does a quick, big move to his backhand, and Jack goes around and speeds to the front of the net, and Toffoli backhands a pass through the defense right to Jack alone in the front, and Picard gets him not once, but twice. Oh, man. That was a tough one right there. I thought for sure we were getting that second goal, but it doesn't happen. Vander Kane eventually gets one after that to put the Oilers up 4-1. Another even strength goal there at 16:52. And Devils lose 4-1. Tough loss, but overall, a really good road trip, I think you got to say. Shots on goal for the Devils, 7-5. They really kicked it into gear in that third period. 15 for a total of 27. Edmonton, 8, 11, 11 for a total of 30. Again, really good defensive efforts by both teams, that are both obviously both known more for their offense. I think both teams really kept the pressure on, but they both played some really good defense. And this stat really jumped out to me was much like Calgary, Edmonton does a really good job getting into the lanes and blocking shots. 23 block shots for the Oilers. The Devils had 11. Devils were out hit 19-8. Power plays, again, the Devils were at 0 for, and the Oilers were 1 for 3. Face-off percentage, very, very close. You have some of the best centers in the league going here with McDavid. The McLeod boys, we forgot to mention Mikey and Ryan McLeod on the ice. That's always fun to see. But the face-off was 31 for the Devils, 30 for the Oilers. And, 4-1 loss. Too many penalties. Devils played well, though. I wouldn't say this was a horrible game, but more of a hey, this is the last one of a road trip. And it just seemed like they just couldn't get those shots as accurate as they usually do on net. And Edmonton is a super dangerous team, but wow, that was a lot of fun watching both these teams skate up and down the ice and use their speed against each other. Want to know what you think about it on this football Sunday? We have the king of the football calls right now, Sam by God Woo, but say hello on YouTube Live, Facebook Live, X, Twitch, Instagram, wherever the hell else you might be listening. And let's see what the man with the sexy voiceover voice right now, Sam Woo, has to say about this game. Has Mrs. Woo heard your little speech over here recently? I think she might get turned on.
Yeah, she's actually making me dinner right now after the podcast. No salads, nothing. That's how.
No salads?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Very nicely done.
Yeah.
So I know you wanted to talk about some stuff, Sam. What do you got to say about this game?
Well, the Edmonton Oilers had a horrible start to the season, resulting in the coach getting fired, Jay Woodcroft. In comes Chris Knobloch. I think he was from the Hartford Wolfpack. Comes in. Totally different team. This is a team that's utilizing their speed, a team that's playing well defensively. I think there's a lot of things that the New Jersey Devils can learn from what the Edmonton Oilers have done. The passing lanes were clogged. The shooting lanes there was just nothing to shoot at. And the Devils just kept on passing because there was nothing to shoot at. And at the same time, I thought the Edmonton Oilers were a little bit lucky today because that could have, towards the end there, that could have been a goal. Jack Hughes and Toffoli. And then,
that was a pretty play, but.
Yeah, but you got to tip your hat to the goaltender there, Picard, because, Edmonton did what they needed to do to beat the Devils. But I didn't think the Devils played a bad game at all. But you could see the difference between the two teams. One, it's amazing when a team like Edmonton, that's very similar to the Devils with speed, skill, offensively, that if you play good defense, you really can control the game and make things difficult. And that's what the Oilers did. Devils ran into a hot team that's running on all cylinders right now. They were second half of a back-to-back on the road in Alberta. And even still, I mean, Akira Schmid had those, two
mess ups there behind the net. Yep.
One, he got lucky.
But he had some really good saves.
But, yeah, exactly.
That one off of Hyman, man, woo!
Yeah. So, overall, it's a learning lesson. Kevin Ball, I've been watching him. I've been watching him like a hawk. At times he's out of position. I think that's, I don't know. Because even like that one play with Schmid, you had Schmid, Marino, and Ball all bunched up in that one behind the net. and I believe it was McDavid that scored that goal. Was it?
Yeah.
That instant,
The easy tap in.
Yeah. It was just you can't have that. You can't make these mistakes against a good team like the Oilers right now. But their coach has got them playing great team defense. They're relentless. The Devils had a hustle all night. I mean, they skated. And now what I wanted to see in this game is how the Devils react. Down 3-0. They got a cheap, they got a goal, Jesper Bratt. Okay. They never gave up. I think that's a good sign.
Right.
They never gave up. They kept on the gas. Even when they were down 4-1 late in the third period, they never stopped. They kept on going. So they finished the game, with an honest effort. And Jack Hughes, they were playing Jack Hughes hard. He did draw a penalty.
Yep.
Timo Meier, I'm not going to harp on him just because there's an injury. He's trying to gut through it. But he's MIA, and that's not good either. And also, I think the power play is missing Dougie Hamilton. No depth on the power play right now. PP1 is the power play. PP2 just nothing there yet. But it's just not clicking at all. So
that's a fair assessment. Yeah.
But other than that, I mean, you have to be proud of this road trip, 3-1, and they come back home Wednesday night at the Rock against the Boston Bruins. Like to see how they come back and play that game.
Yeah. And they get a couple days off, and hopefully get a good practice in there. And I think it's tough these long road trips, and especially East Coast going to the West Coast and stuff like that. It's difficult. It's not the easiest thing after a while. But I think Supernova here hit it on the head. Surprised at the structure of the Oilers. I guess coaching makes a difference. And this Oilers team looks so much more responsible. Who also said that? JP, they used their big bodies and clogged up the lanes like a toilet at a frat house. Oh, man. Okay, fair enough. But Edmonton did. They kept their structure, and they didn't let the Devils beat them the way that the Oilers, usually beat teams. It was fun. Even though the Devils lost, this was a fun game to watch because both teams were using the speed, as Sam Wu said, and I know I said it, and I know a bunch of you said it here on the YouTube page. It's not like the Devils were just phoning this one in at all. This wasn't like I know this score was 4-1, but it was a lot closer than what the score seemed. The Devils were in this right to the very end of the game. And they had a number of golden opportunities, like Sam said, that play with Toffoli and Jack Hughes. Dawson Mercer also had a breakaway that he missed the net on. The one that Mikey McLeod powered his way through. The Devils got some really good opportunities there in the third. They had 15 shots on goal in the third period. So they didn't just pack it in and say, to hell with it. After that Schmid goof and going down 3-0. They came back 30 seconds later. Jesper Bratt put them on the board. And we know this team is the comeback kids. Bryce Salvador was talking about it. They got 9 comebacks on the season already. So I'm listen, we always want a W. And we always say there's no what's the word? What's that word I'm looking for? What kind of loss? Why can't I think of it, Sam?
Well, I call a learning lesson.
There's no I can't think of what it is. Metaphorical wins or whatever. Whatever it is. I can't even think right now.
Moral victories or something?
Moral victory. Yeah, why am I saying metaphorical? There's no moral victories. We always talk about that. A loss is a loss, but the Devils, they did play well. And we've seen them struggle in the second game of back-to-backs. I thought this might have been one of their better second games of a back-to-back so far this season, which I believe I think now they're what 1-4-1 in, or 1-3-1 in the back-to-backs.
I think we have 17 of them this season.
16 or 17, somewhere around there.
It's ridiculous how the NHL schedule these games because they favor teams like the Rangers, not to have them. I don't even see how it's fair at all, but whatever.
Yes, JP, I may have had one too many gummies so far already today. We'll see. Yes, no moral victories. That's what I was looking for over there. And the fight was in the dog till the end. That's a good sign. Exactly. Yeah, I mean, it's a tough loss, but it's not the worst loss I've ever seen from this team or any team in that matter. Again, playing probably the hottest team in the league right now in the Edmonton Oilers, who are, I believe Captain Bill Spaulding said it, once again, looking like they are a potential cup favorite if they keep with this structure and this defense, and we know what their offense can do. So we'll see when the Oilers, come across and have to play the Devils, maybe when they're at the end of a road trip, how it works out over in New Jersey. Tough one for the boys, but again, they worked hard. They didn't quit. I saw some real frustration there when that fourth goal went in, the empty netter, because I think this team really believed right down to the end that they had a chance to win. Yeah. All they needed was to get that one, get it to 3-2, and then who knows what can happen, in that final minute of the game. Especially, Lindy's going to pull the goalie no matter what, and you're going to have a 6-on-5 situation, 3-2. We've seen the Devils pull it off many times in the past. So, tough loss, but overall, really good road trip for these guys. Hopefully it was a nice bonding experience for them. And now we get back home to Jersey. We got a Wednesday night game against the Boston Bruins. Couple of days off to rest, get reacclimated, get a good practice in, get a Sam salad over at American Whiskey, have an Ann Crew brew, and then hopefully we're getting a Devils W on Wednesday night, which we know Sam has told us he's going to be down there at AW for Game Day Live and Devils After Dark. Peyton will be there. Alejandro will be there. I think Shorts Guy might be there. I'll be there via, the old satellite connections. But ready for the Devils to get home, get back in the Eastern time zone, and get some more W's underneath their belt. 6-2 since the captain has returned. That's not a bad record.
Not a bad record.
Especially when they were 1-6 with him out. So I'll take that.
Yeah, I mean, this loss does not feel like what happened against the Sharks. This is one of those humbling losses that, there's still work that needs to be done. And guess what? Here's the positive news, Scotty. They can hang with the Oilers. It's not like they got blown out by any. They gave the Oilers everything they could, and
yeah, different circumstances. If it was maybe game 1 of the road trip as opposed to game 4 of the road trip, and the second of a back-to-back, that's a lot of travel that the Devils went through in a short amount of time.
If they played Edmonton yesterday and then played the Flames today,
yeah,
could have been a sweep.
Could have been a sweep.
Yep.
Yeah, and I'm not trying to make excuses or anything like that. But it is a lot of travel. I was almost anticipating this being one of those blowout games where you're like, it's the end of a road trip. Yeah.
Yep.
But the Devils, they kept that hustle going throughout this entire game. So, losses are tough. An L's an L. But I thought the boys played pretty well today given the circumstances. And they will get back on track once they get home this week. And we're going to be talking about it here at the Let's Go Devils podcast network. We'll have Game Day Live with Sam Wu and Vinny and Shorts Guy pregame, and then postgame Devils After Dark. Yours truly, Scotty and Sam as well. right there from American Whiskey. And if you happen to be going out to the game, make sure you drink up some of those And Crew brews. And speaking of And Crew, today is Sunday. So later on tonight, Mr. And Crew himself, otherwise known as Beer Baron, will be along with Shorts Guy for the Sunday night big show. I think I'm going to take a little time off. I'm going to rest myself up as well, so I don't lose my voice like Sam has already.
Yeah.
Because we've been doing a lot of talking in these recent days here. These back-to-backs, they're tough on us as well, Sam Wu, right?
Yeah, especially, Pacific time zones, earlier this week.
Oh, and Mrs. Wu's displeasure palace of the 1:45 a.m. football call with Sam screaming on the top of his lungs.
Yeah. Now I just lie. She said, "What are you doing?" I'm doing a cameo. Oh, keep doing those cameos. Keep doing those cameos.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right, too. And you can get a cameo from Mr. Sam Wu. So make sure you do that. Vote for our girl Peyton. And yeah, I think Pollock, I will agree with you there. Tierney, who got benched maybe in the second period. Yeah, I mean that's just not a substitution for Eric Halla,
Yeah.
He just isn't. So we'll see what happens there if Fitzy doesn't make maybe a move for some other depth. Because putting out Tierney, putting out Brendan Smith, it just hasn't been the best of situations. Willman, I don't know. Maybe we'll see some other, maybe, who knows? Maybe Nolan Foote will come back someday from this injury that has kept him out so long. So we can only hope. But big show's coming up in about 90 minutes. So make sure you tune in for that right here on the Let's Go Devils Podcast Network. We'll be back Wednesday, Devils After Dark. Thank you, everybody. I hope you had a great weekend. 3-1 road trip. We'll take it. Let's turn it over to Sam for the final goodbyes.
Dropping the podcast in 20 minutes. We'll see you at 9 p.m. Eastern. Until next time, let's go Devils.